Gomez. Gomez brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Right here, Balotelli, Aguero. Who will it? Oh, brilliant goal from
And that was the new intro for the ScoreLine podcast. Welcome everyone to the second episode on YouTube. We are going to continue the episodes on Spotify, but this one's at least on YouTube. Welcoming back the three that you always have. Say hi, boys.
Hello.
Heyo.
And just before we start into this, we're just going to give our condolences to a legend of the game, someone who died, Diego Maradona, obviously Napoli legend of football, probably either the best ever or at least in the conversation. So, rip Maradona.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, big rip. Also, just a little shout out to shitty British media. The Guardian did a really good piece on it with the headline just saying Diego Maradona, the legend never dies or something like that. So that was really good. A couple of the newspapers were a bit scandalous, talking about how he was a cheat, which wasn't great. I mean, the guy's just died, so yeah, not great.
Yeah. I think you can write that stuff. I mean, it's fair to say, but not when he dies. It's not the right time or the place.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, yeah. Legend of the game. But yeah, we do move into George's team. Manchester City, Burnley. How do you think this is going to go, George?
I'd like to think we'd demolish Burnley since they just sit back and get a cheeky goal. I mean, how many goals? They've scored little to no goals this season, so I reckon this one's going to be easy for us.
You have a fully fit squad. Pep Guardiola said you have a fully fit squad, apart from Nathan. Nathan Ake is available now, returning from hamstring injury. There are three Burnley players unlikely to feature. One being Nick Pope. One being
I was
Robbie
happy
Brady.
about that. I was happy when I saw that.
Yeah, Nick Pope hasn't been in the best form though over the last few weeks, but he's obviously one of their big players, so that'll be a big up for you.
I've got the light blue in the background for City, so
yeah. The interestingly, over the last 6 times City have played Burnley, the score has been 24-2 in favor of City. So I think you can rest easy with it being a pretty demolishing win.
I reckon this will be a clean sheet for sure. To be honest, I think we're just going to absolutely outclass them. Like, when I mean demolish them in possession stats, demolish them in shots on target and all that stuff. Yeah. I don't think they're going to create many chances, maybe 2 or 3 at most in the game, and that's being generous. I'm going a bit savage today, but like Burnley, they're shit. So
it's big talk from a City fan, to be fair. I mean, you guys haven't been in the greatest run of form so far.
We're going great in the Champions League, so keep up that form. Phil Foden with a goal on Wednesday night.
Hopefully he plays over Bernardo.
I'd like to see him start over Bernardo because I think he's a better player. No offense, Gui, but
none taken. The only thing that could go wrong for City, in my opinion, in this one is, City's struggled to break down defenses this season. So Burnley have 5 at the back, and somehow City don't get a goal in the first, say, 60, 70 minutes. Maybe Burnley snapped with a counterattack, something like that. We've seen it happen. Could happen again, But otherwise, should be easy. I mean, I say this, but Burnley is still not that good at all, right? Especially compared to those teams that City may have struggled with, like West Ham or I think Palace. It was. I think I'm wrong about that. It wasn't Palace. City struggled with another mid-table-ish team, yeah. So, but Burnley's not a mid-table team. They have 5 points, and they just come off of a very close win. So they had 2 a week ago. So with all that said, it should still be easy.
I think something to take into consideration is Man City's highest goal scorers too. So it's not like City are free flowing. And I mean, we touched on it in the recent podcast. Their creative juices aren't flowing. They're not scoring a huge amount. So I think you guys will demolish them, but in terms of the stats, but in terms of the scoreline, I don't think it'll be high scoring. I think maybe it'll be a 1-0, 2-0, but I could also see it just being a very boring 0-0. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I definitely see our stats being a lot higher, but whether we can actually put the ball in the net is another question. So hopefully we will. I think we'll get the dub either way, so I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest.
Really? I mean, in terms of kind of how the seasons have been going, Burnley, their first win over Palace, it wasn't really convincing. It was a 1-0. So if you guys didn't win this, then I'd be kind of worried for you. I'm already worried for City, but I'd be even more worried. But yeah, this does seem like a fixture that you guys seem to win. So if there's nothing else to say on it, without further ado, what's the predictions?
Jeez, I was ready to move on to the next game. I forgot we had to do predictions.
Yeah, we're by the way, just anyone who is listening, coming over from Spotify and didn't listen to our last one, we're doing a new format. We're just covering the top 6 in terms of predictions. We might cover other games if there's big ones, but it's pretty much just the top 6 from now on. So what are you going with, George? Seeing as you're confident.
I reckon it'll be a clean sheet for sure, and we'll score 2-0.
2-0 City. What are you going with, Gui?
Yeah, I think City's going to get a goal early, which will put pressure on Burnley to do something and not just sit back and defend. So, yeah, I can see City just running this game wild. 3-4-0. I'll go with 3, though.
Ooh, 3-0. So no one's giving. I'm going with 1-0 because I don't think Burnley can score a goal. Except, who did they play recently? They played Chelsea. Chelsea banged them about 3-0, but Burnley had opportunities that game. Chris Wood nearly chipped Edouard, and I think that Chelsea have been kind of quite solid defensively, so Burnley might be able to kind of roughhouse their way in, because City centre-backs aren't great in the air. They're good defensively on the floor and stuff, but I think Chris Wood might be able to bully maybe Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake or Laporte, whoever plays. So yeah,
it's funny though. These teams played in the EFL Cup not that long ago, in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
It was a 3-0 score, and City lined up with most of their starting 11.
Yeah,
or a few. So kind of seen the story before. I think it'll be kind of a repeat.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was a fairly easy game to cover. A game that I think is also fairly easy to cover. We're going with Brighton-Liverpool. If I'm honest, I kind of was on the Brighton hype train at the beginning. They played nice football. They kind of got unlucky against Man United, but I just don't see anything other than Liverpool thrash. Brighton
they've
thrashing.
gone slightly downhill. So, I'd love to be in support of Brighton, but Liverpool are going to take this dub quite easily, I'd say.
They probably have the best front four in world football in terms of Mane, Firmino, Jota, and Salah. So I think this is going to be a big scoring game. I mean, in terms of injury news, Liverpool still have a rake of injuries. They're getting a final assessment on Jordan Henderson, so he might play. If they do, I think it's genuinely his game over. It already is, but it'd be even worse. Adam Lallana is being assessed. I think that's going to be huge for Brighton because he is really kind of their playmaker this year. But we shall see.
We will.
What do you think, Gui?
Yeah, pretty much all that you guys said. This game, I don't know. I want to say that it's going to be close, but Liverpool, they made it champions, man. And champions, they don't lose points in trap games like this, you know? We've seen Liverpool come close, but they don't do it. They don't lose those points. They'll beat West Ham 2-1. They'll beat Sheffield 2-1. They'll look like they're struggling and then grab a winner because that's what a champion team does. That's what champions do. So, I think Klopp's got the right mentality fixed into his players. And even though they have a ton of injuries, still got so much quality, right? So, shouldn't be that close. Even if the scoreline is close, I don't think the game will be close, if that makes sense.
Yeah, although we might be underselling Brighton. I mean, Lamptey's been a revelation this year. Ben White was really good in the Championship this year, kind of still finding his feet in the Premier League. Lewis Dunk is back from suspension, so he'll be really, really big this game. And I'm really impressed with Brighton's midfield, actually, with Basuma, who ran the game against Arsenal. I mean, that's not hard, but yeah. So they've got Basuma. They've also got like Lallana in the midfield, which, like I said, if he's there, will be really good. Solly March has been really, really impressive this year. I think Aaron Connolly won't start, but he's a good bench option. Montpay scores a lot of goals, so that might help. Danny Welbeck scored his first goal. I mean, I know as an Arsenal fan, he's not the greatest finisher, but he's got like the typical pace and power. He's got a bit of trickery on him as well. So I think Brighton have a chance, but Liverpool have been doing so well that I don't know. I'm trying to sell Brighton here. No one's having any of it. What are you going with, Gui?
Just 2-0. Don't want to like oversell it, but Liverpool's still the same Liverpool. So yeah, 2-0.
All right. What are you going with, George?
I reckon Brighton might snatch a goal at some point. But I'd say Liverpool, 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool. I'm just going to give Brighton like a bit of credit with a consolation goal.
Damn, I have Google Doc open with all of our score lines. Before you said yours, I wrote 3-1 down, but I'm going to go 2-1, spice it up a bit. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, that one was fairly easy. One that I'm going to throw a spanner in the works when I give my prediction. Southampton United. I think
this is a tough game to call, to be honest.
Yeah, this is very tough. I mean, United were very impressive in the Champions League, but they were playing a crap side in Istanbul. Although they did lose them 2-1, but Istanbul just lay on the floor.
Bruno again popping off. I mean,
oh my God, did you see his goal? Like, yeah, I think it was
beautiful.
The long shot. It was very good. But yeah, I mean, Southampton will be without Danny Ings, which will obviously hurt them. But and Nathan Redmond. But something that's actually impressed me about United, especially in that Istanbul game. I know we chat shit so much about their center backs, but Victor Lindelof played a really good through ball into Rashford over the top of everyone when he got the penalty, and that was quite good. So I think maybe Lindelof can try and carry this United defense. Gui, you're the Southampton lover. What do you think?
I mean,
I think if Pogba plays, it'll be a dub.
For Southampton. Just to make it clear, right?
No. All right. What are you actually thinking?
Man, I think Southampton need to do this game because if they just walk in with like a classic 4-4-2 or something like that, might not be the best. I think Southampton need to maybe try 3 center backs and 5 in the middle, which they've done a lot this season. I think it'll help a lot.
Why rather 3 than 4 at the back?
Because I don't think you need fullbacks to win this game. I think you might as well just have 3 center backs to deal with the United wingers as well as like Bruno, because then you'll have like a midfield that can help a lot to deal with Bruno. And Bruno is pretty much all there is to like the creativity up front. I'm not saying like goal scoring, but creativity, right? I think it'll help a lot to deal with Bruno himself. And then right, you won't need to worry much about players like Greenwood or like Rashford. He's not in the best form right now.
Martial.
So yeah, neither is Martial, right? So yeah, I mean that's what I think Southampton need to do, and then maybe just play off the counter. I don't see Southampton holding possession or like being the dominant team in this game, but I don't know. Maybe.
I think I have a different opinion on that anyways. I think
no, Chris, say it.
I think Donny van de Beek was super impressive against Istanbul. And we've been saying it for weeks that this guy should play. He's very good. So I think it depends on whether Ole plays him. Because I think if Ole plays him, they turn into a possession side. They turn into a side that maybe him and Bruno can kind of play off each other with Fred or Matic behind them kind of doing the sweeping. I think if Donny plays, then it's much harder for Southampton because it's someone who can kind of recycle the ball. The possession won't be lost so much. But if Ole plays what he's been trying to play, which is kind of that Fred Matic pivot, that's not a possession pivot. That's a sweep the balls up, maybe give it to Bruno. Bruno can try a Hollywood pass. If it works, it works. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think if they play with that double pivot of Fred and Matic, then I see Southampton winning this, because I think Southampton are a better coached side. I think the defense in Southampton might be a bit more in form than the Man United defense. I mean, Vestergaard's really impressed. Kyle Walker-Peters has improved his form.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Southampton are... Go on.
Sorry. I'd like to see them try flip it. You know, instead of having Matic, Fred, Bruno, flip it. And you try Van de Beek with Bruno up here. Then you got one guy just in case, you know, like Matic.
That's what I mean.
Fred.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that would be really interesting, and a new, if it works, maybe like, dude, it's a new like formation that United can run now. Because we haven't seen them try that. I mean, you could argue that Pogba and Bruno, when they play together, that's what they do. But
yeah,
you know, I want to see it with Van de Beek, not Pogba, because as we all know, I don't rate him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention that Southampton's Che Adams is a man who doesn't miss a lot. Like, I think that if United relax, or if Southampton get like a really nice counter off, Che Adams won't miss. Even if Danny Ings isn't there, I think Che Adams is clinical enough.
Yeah.
That he can vary this game if United don't capitalize early. Also, Southampton have tall center backs and experienced center backs. Most of them are pretty old. So it'll be hard. It'll be hard to break them down. But Wolves did it after Southampton scored last week, and all it took was a lot of pace on the wings.
Yeah.
Which is something United don't really have. So
something interesting something interesting also to think about. James Ward-Prowse is kind of an orchestrator in that midfield, and Man United give away a lot of stupid fouls. Like, for how amazing Bruno is, he does give away a few fouls. I mean, Matic is kind of slow. He gives away fouls, and I could see a foul on the edge of the box, James Ward-Prowse free kick goal. Do you know what I mean? So I think, I don't know. I'm kind of on the Southampton hype train. But yeah, what do you think, George? Because I mean, Bednarek and Vestergaard are in good form as well.
For me, this is a really tough game to call. Yeah, as you said, like, I think Ole needs to set up with a formation that can give Bruno the free roaming ability, so he can distribute those balls, is what he's good at.
Yeah.
And Southampton are in good form. I'm impressed with them this season. Gui likes them, and for good reason. I could see this being a draw, to be honest, because I think both teams, maybe Southampton are better defensively, but I think United are better attacking wise. So I don't know what that's going to mean for the game, but I reckon it's going to be 2-2 maybe.
2-2 draw?
I can't decide who's going to win. Like, I really can't. It's going to be very, very tight.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's probably the more sensible approach. I just think, at least for me, Man United have the better players. I say this almost every week. Man United have the better players. The opposition has the better coach. So, like, I think if there was a different coach coaching Man United and they could kind of expose Southampton's weaknesses, then I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. Man United will win this game. It's grand. But it is like, do you know when Arsenal played Aston Villa and we all said, there's no reason Arsenal should lose, but they will. I think Man United, it's exactly the same. Man United, good run of form. They just bashed someone. It's exactly like United to come and lose this game.
This is definitely a game that United can lose horribly.
Yeah.
But it's also odd. You know, I'm really torn. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd like to see a nice game like 3-2 or 3-3. That'd be exciting. But I really can't call who's going to win. I think it's going to be a draw, as I said. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say 2-2, so you can hold on to that prediction. I'll change mine and give it to United. I'll do, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll just do 2-1. Yeah.
2-1 United. I'm struggling whether I want to go 2-0 or 2-1 Southampton. Because I
Southampton.
think, yeah.
2-0. I think 2-0 is more likely.
I think the reason I'm not sure is I think what could happen is that Man United love a penalty. So,
but United like break down mentally. Like the longer the game goes, if something's not going their way, you can see it, man. Like players are just walking on the field.
They do.
I think if it's like 1-0 and then like you get to the 70th minute, United will just be like, all right, let's call it, boys. Time to go back.
I'm gonna go. You've convinced me. I'm gonna go 2-0. If it's 2-0, if it's 2-1, I'm gonna flip my shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
But
if Bruno can get the team motivated to start creating shit, like to be honest, I really think United play well based on how well Bruno's playing, because the rest of the team kind of just feed off what he's doing. Like he's kind of in the position to do that. Like if you had an unreal left back, like I really do rate Alex Telles for Man United, but like if you're playing if you're playing like in a system with like Liverpool don't need Firmino to perform to do well, because their chances are created through fullbacks. Where if you like, I know this because we had Mesut Ozil for a long time. If you play a number 10, the whole point of playing him is to like focus the play around him and allow everyone else to do well. I think the difference between like a player like Mesut Ozil and Bruno Fernandes is Mesut Ozil allows the team to play well because he like provides assists and he does all that kind of stuff. Whereas United don't have the players that Bruno can provide the assists to, so he has to do it all by himself. And I think someone like a Romeu, I think that's their Spanish CDM. Oriol Romeu, yeah.
Yeah, I think Romeu will kick the shit out of Bruno Fernandes. He's such a dirty player, and I think he will just kick him out of the game. So that's why I'm going to.
Fair enough, yeah. And if you look at the last couple of results for United, it's Bruno on the score sheet or assists, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's Bruno creating everything. So
he could have had 2 hat-tricks, by the way. He gave 2 penalties to Rashford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the Champions League, and I was very confused because realistically, I won't lie, I probably would have, if I was Bruno, I probably would have been like, nah, give me that hat trick, boy.
Me too, man.
I watched an interview, a post-game interview, and he was saying that he doesn't give a shit who scores the goal as long as we score the goal. Like, it's a good attitude to have.
I get that, but also, if I'm a player, when I retire, I want to be like, I had this many goals. I don't want to be like, I gave 4 penalties away. Woo. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but who wouldn't give a penalty to Marcus Rashford, though?
If I had a hat trick on the go, me, I would have taken that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways,
I'm going to save the biggest game of the weekend until last.
What is that? Arsenal.
Wolves.
No, I was going to say Chelsea Spurs.
Yeah.
So
let's see how it is.
our Arsenal Wolves next. You can have a go at explaining why Wolves are going to win, and then I'll have a go at explaining why Arsenal are going to win this game.
Dude, okay, I'm not going to say – I don't think Wolves win this because Wolves play insane and we're just better. I think we win this because Arsenal play shit. It's not Wolves are great. It's just Arsenal is bad.
Fair play.
I don't know. Dude, I have to be honest. I haven't seen like Arsenal at all this season. Like I haven't watched their games. I just see the highlights and I hear what you say, and that's what I know about Arsenal. So,
so you hear me complain, and then you watch the highlights. And you're like, yeah, they're shit.
Yeah, this season I actually haven't watched anything. So I'll just talk about Wolves, and you can talk about Arsenal and disagree or whatever.
I bet.
I think
before you go on the team news, Conor Cody's back for you guys. But Saiss is out with COVID. So
doesn't matter. Irrelevant.
I thought Saiss was lit.
Eight Nuri is decent.
Yeah, but our man's Ait Nuri.
Oh god.
He's been good. Like, okay, he had a really good game, and then he shit the bed against whoever we took a beating from. Forgot.
Shit the bed.
He did.
No, but he actually did.
Was that Leicester? Was that when you got?
Yes, in the Leicester game. He was so bad. But we move.
He's only a Bobby. Leave him alone.
Yeah, he's a little kid, man. Like, we move. I want to give him a chance. Saiss has always been good, but he's old. It's going to be – we're going to need to move on soon. Anyway, back to the game. So, I really liked what we did against Southampton. It was very unfortunate we didn't get the win. But I want to see Adama, Padense, Jimenez nothing changes. I want to see Moutinho, Neves, then Donker. Don't change anything. And then Semedo, only player I want to see out is Kilman for Conor Cody.
Yeah.
And then we got Boli, Nuri, and Patricio. This team, I think, should be able to tear Arsenal's wings down. Hopefully. Because we've been doing it all season. It's just, we can't score, man. It's so sad.
Bro,
but like neither can Arsenal. So
yeah, I was about to say this is gonna be a very low scoring game, I think.
No. Dude, I feel like this game's about to go crazy.
Bro, I don't know why. Bro, I hope it's like 7-8. 7-8. It just won't be, but I hope it is. I get what you're saying, right? I have a few things to say. I'm reading a stat here. Arsenal have only lost one time out of the last 19 times we played you.
Fucking knew you were gonna bring that stat up. I was looking at the same stat.
Right? So obviously that doesn't mean anything. Obviously, Nicolas Pepe will be out. David Luiz and Willian could be out. But what I hope...
Oh, boo-hoo. Jesus. Willian's gone.
Yeah.
Pepe might play because he played in the Europa League.
No, Pepe's suspended because he got a red card.
Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck's sake.
He actually played unbelievably in that Europa League, which is actually really good. But I hope we don't play with the back three. I hope we go with what we did against
No shot you play with the back three. You have to be like... fucking Football Manager, motherfucker, to put a back three against Wolves. That makes no sense.
Bro, no, if we play a back three, it will be 0-0. They I hope...
No, it'll be 4-0 Wolves, bro.
No, because every time we play a back three, we don't play a back three. We play a back five, and we play 4 in the mid, and we play 1 up front. We will literally park the fucking bus if we play
with like a left wing back, right wing back.
Yeah.
That would actually be okay. You know.
No, when I say back three, we never... Like, in possession, we're actually a back 4, but in defense, we're back 5.
Did you say is Party back or no?
Party is back.
Okay.
This is what I was going to say. Yeah. If we play, what I hope we play is the 4-4-2, which is what we played in the week against Mold. And I hope we play
Mold.
Mold.
Yeah,
it's Mold. It's they're like the Norwegian champions or something, but something like that. But if we play that, I think we'll smash you. I know that's kind of like an out the box thing, but when we play the 4-4-2, we're so compact but we counterattack so well because what we did against Mold is we left Nketiah and we left Lacazette up front, and we played Danny Ceballos and Granit Xhaka in the midfield, and we played like 2 quick wingers. And if we do that, we'll have 2 people on the wings to deal with whoever your wingers are, and you guys play so much on the wings that I think that with the fact that we'll have extra help on that wing will help. And I think if we play the 4-4-2, when we counterattack, it becomes a 4-2-4 because the 2 wingers just sprint up and we have 2 in the midfield and we have 4 attacking up front and we counterattack. So I think if we play that...
Sorry, no. Yeah, this is why I think it might actually be a high-scoring game, right? Because I don't trust Semedo and my boy Ait to stop you guys when you do this thing. Right? Yeah. I mean... if that happens, I don't trust him to stop the Arsenal attack. But I think Wolves' biggest improvement this season, and we looked so much better than we did in the first, 3 games, is actually in the midfield because Moutinho was out of form. Yeah. Neves was not playing well. And then Donker was just doing his thing. He's about the same, whatever. But we found a lot of form in the midfield. And now Adama's back he found form too. So I actually think we look way, way better going forwards. I mean, Jimenez doesn't have to shoot it outside the box to get us a goal anymore. I think we'll find a way. Against Southampton, I mean, it looks bad. It was a 1-1, and yeah, we bottled a lot of chances. But as long as we don't bottle it in front of goal, I think we'll see a lot of goals. But that's where I'm worried, man, because if Adama's not playing right wing back, I don't really trust Semedo defensively. He's great going forwards, but defensively, he's had a lot of blunders. And then obviously Nori's very young. So that's why I think it could be a high-scoring game. And I think it could go either way, to be honest.
I get that. I think the only reason that I'd say, like, when I'm saying all this, prior to me, like, hyping it up, I did think that you guys still have a chance, right? Everyone has a chance. I just think that if we play that 4-4-2, like with Kieran Tierney left back, who I think is super solid defensively, so whoever you play on the right wing, I'm not too afraid of. I think if we play like Gabriel and whoever the hell plays right center back, whether that's David Luiz or whether that's Rob Holding or whatever, that's the weak link in the defense. And right back's Hector Bellerin, who's actually been really informed this season. So I'm not too worried about that. And I'm actually the thing that excites me most about this is if we that midfield four, because Saka gets to play left wing, which means he gets to attack more, and he's really improved. We'll probably play Reece Nelson, and he had an unbelievable game against Molde as well. And he's had over the last while he's played really well, and he's really tricky. So who's your left back?
Ait.
So to be Ait versus Reece Nelson, and I think Reece Nelson's tricky enough to maybe get past him.
Bro, who the fuck is Reece Nelson?
This is kind of nice. I'm sitting back watching you guys debate.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty civil. I thought this would get worse, but
no, because
it's gonna be.
I thought
fun,
there was
man.
gonna be flames, but it's quite. We're gonna
play Thomas Partey, and we're probably gonna play Dani Ceballos, which means we've got creativity and we've got someone to kick you. So I don't know. I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah, if we play the 4-4, actually that's bullshit.
How funny would it be if it was 0-0?
I was about to say that. If we play the 4-4-2, I'm super excited. If we play the 4-3-3, I'm also excited. If we fucking play the 3 at the back, I might not even watch the game. Like I will, but I will it's going to be a snore fest. It's going to be so boring, and it's just going to be shit. But yeah, now that you've heard your parents fight, George, who are you going with?
It's hard to say, really. Both teams are struggling to score goals this season. So, will this be the game that they put in a few against each other? I don't know. Does two teams not being able to score equal goals? I don't know. But I'm going to go probably with a draw. And I'm going to say 1-1. I don't think it's going to be particularly high scoring.
Okay, Gui. You've chatted so much shit about this being high scoring. What are you going with?
3-1.
3-1 Wolves.
Yeah, bro. We break our fucking
Gabriel
deadlock. I know we haven't even scored 3 this season.
Bro, I'm just going to say, these are the 2 of the best defenses in the league statistically behind Tottenham. Like, we're tied with 9 goals or 10 goals conceded. And you're going to say it's a 4-goal thriller.
The gods
that is
of the
why
Prem
my prediction is
weird.
So good.
It's been a weird season. So let's do it.
I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal. I think it'll be high. I think that both keepers will have to save quite a bit, but I also back both keepers to save quite a bit. So
do you think Arsenal could set up with a 4-4-2 and then grab a goal and then do a cheeky formation switch into the 3-4-3?
No, because if you play if you play 2 strikers, we'd have to play like Dani Ceballos left wing, or we'd have to play some weird center midfielder left wing, and then move. No, it would just be too complicated. It'd be more likely to transition into the 4-3-3 and maybe push Bukayo Saka into the midfield, because he's done that before. Kind of played that center mid role. So
there's 2 main things I want to see this game. Number 1, I want to see Adama start. Number 2, I want to see Aubameyang up front, not on the left. Fucking hate
that will probably happen.
I hope so. That'll make the game more interesting, I think.
Yeah, also what I'm hoping to see is at least some kind of creativity from Arsenal, because I don't mind if we are a slight bit more open at the back for more creativity, but I don't want to look at Arsenal and be like, Wolves can score at any minute, which is good.
All right, guys. Well, we're about to be cut off, so we will take a little break and we will see you back in a minute.
See you boys in a minute. There you go.
All right, we're back. Let's do Chelsea and shit.
Chelsea and shit. What do we call shit? Spurs. All right. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Jose Mourinho's lost to Frank Lampard twice last season. So this could be a third hat trick, Lampard hat trick against Mourinho.
My fantasy team is set up otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. I think personally, I see this game going similarly, at least, to the Tottenham City game. Chelsea like to control possession. So Tottenham will sit deep. They'll try to get a goal. If they get the goal early, it'll end this exact same way as the Man City game, but I think it'll be 0-0 at least till about 60 minutes, and then they might score a goal after that. So I think this is going to be low scoring in Tottenham's favour, sadly. What are you thinking, George?
I was going to say, I think the game's going to go exactly the way it went last week for Tottenham. They're going to score a goal, sit back the entire game with 10 men behind the ball. Harry Kane's going to play that cam role probably again.
Yeah.
And they might grab a second one towards the end. Like, Chelsea, they're good defensively now. But I think Tottenham create enough chances to score a goal against them. So, I'm not going to say Tottenham are going to keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to say probably like 2-1 Spurs.
All right. I think that's a fair shout. I don't know. Like, if you look at the way Chelsea lined up last week, the issue with them is their center back positions. I don't know if he'll play Thiago Silva. For some reason, he played Rudiger and Zuma at the back. I think if Thiago Silva plays, it's a different story. But I think they have one of the most well-rounded midfields in the league, which I think will trouble Tottenham. I think these two teams have some of the best midfields in the league. Like N'Golo Kante, Kovacic and Mount, and then Højbjerg, Lo Celso, and Ndombele. It's like they're both very good. So I think, I don't know. What do you think, Gui? I'm kind of in the mud right now.
Yeah, same. It's a hard one to predict. I think though, whoever wins this is going to be like the team to beat, apart from Liverpool, of course, in the Prem. You know what I mean? Like they'll be genuine title challengers.
Chelsea will or Tottenham?
No, like whoever wins this game, either one.
I think they're both title challengers even without it.
That's true. But whoever wins this is then like taking the next step, and I think they'll be that team, that guy you want to take down because they're looking like they might clinch the title, alongside Liverpool, of course. Can't forget about them. But for the game itself, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's been a while since we saw Tottenham really get tested by a good team, like a very good team. And obviously Tottenham has changed a lot throughout this season, right? So
they played Man City last week. That's a good team.
Okay, true. But that game was weird. You know what I mean? It was weird in the sense that it's just not what you expected. But Mourinho did shut that City down. I think Chelsea's not as easy to shut down, though. Not even.
Yeah, they've got a better front line than City.
City's kind of been the same play style for a very long time. And tactically, Mourinho is obviously amazing. So we kind of saw it coming, me and you, right? But this game, it's hard to just say, Tottenham, Mourinho, he knows what Chelsea's up to. Because Chelsea, they're not that clear-cut.
They're not like their chances. The good thing about Chelsea is like Man City, you can kind of predict how their chances are going to be created. Chelsea have a lot of different ways to try and predict, like to try and create chances. In terms of the stats, they basically score the exact same amount of goals per match, which is about 2.5. Tottenham only concede 1, whereas Chelsea concede 1.1, so basically exactly the same. Although Tottenham create 2.5 chances, Chelsea only create 1.4. So Chelsea are scoring more goals than they should be. So I think that does. Tottenham are scoring less goals than they should be for the chances they're creating, and Chelsea are scoring more. So I don't know. I think Chelsea might be overperforming. I said this last week. I think they have a bit of immaturity in their squad. They have a lot of young players. I think they have a young manager. Yeah, young manager, young players.
The thing is, we've seen Chelsea kind of shit the bed a few times this season. Once was against Southampton, right? When they're up 3-0 and they just concede 3. Yeah. Against Man United, that game was stinky.
That game was really bad. Stinky.
And that's the only time, apart from like a Carabao Cup matchup against Tottenham, where Chelsea has played one of the top 6, right, this season. Then again, if we think about the Champions League, their game against Sevilla looked equally dead, boring.
Stinky.
Yeah. So, obviously, these games were all pretty long time ago, like 6 games ago.
Yeah.
So maybe they've changed a lot. I can't say I've kept up with Chelsea that much, but yeah, this will be an actual test, which is why it's so difficult to predict, because Chelsea are smashing little teams.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They've got a lot of quality, but can they do it against bigger, more organized teams? I don't know.
They're going to play a lot more defensive this game, and that's not
100%.
That's not going to.
I don't think that's a good thing, dude. I think Chelsea need to prey on their unexpectability, fucking like how wild they can be. You know, like how much stardom they have with these players who are young and explosive. I think that's their biggest weapon. And if they don't use that, if they kind of sit back and try to play a more organized style of football, it might not be the best, especially against the side of Mourinho. He excels at that kind of stuff. So. That's what I hope to see out of Chelsea. Out of Tottenham, I suppose you just really got to keep track of your men. Like if I'm Mourinho, I'm telling my players to pay a lot of attention to the positioning of Conte and whoever's playing next to him. I forget their name.
Probably Kovacic, yeah.
Kovacic and
not Jorginho? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay,
He's been dropped.
Fair. Okay. So if I'm Mourinho, I'm asking the players to pay a lot of attention to their position. Not so much, Kai Havertz or Timo Werner or something, but what they're doing. Because I kind of trust Højbjerg plus the back four to handle those players.
There's a little asterisk. You can continue your point, but Toby Alderweireld is out between 2 to 4 weeks.
That sucks. Who's in over him?
It would probably be Davinson Sanchez next to Eric Dyer. And Sanchez is a great FIFA card, but he's not great in real life. But I don't know. I think Chelsea's goal this game for me is to score early, because if they leave it late, Tottenham will. I think for me, Tottenham will score a goal, because
definitely,
yeah. Chelsea's defense is strong, but it's not strong enough to deal with Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, and whoever else plays up front. So I think
if Son and Kane have a good game, then Chelsea won't win. Chelsea will lose.
Yeah.
Great.
Also, I'm saying 2-1 Tottenham.
2-1 Tottenham.
Fair.
Oh yeah.
Probably what I would do, but I'll think about a different one. I do want to say though that
I've been stealing everyone's scorelines tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start going first. But I want to talk about the bench a little bit, because both teams have a lot of quality that can absolutely change the game. I really want to see what Mourinho and Lampard do, because Conor, you obviously don't think Lampard's that good a manager.
I think he's improved, but I don't think he's good enough.
Let's see what he does, especially against the guy he knows so well, like Mourinho. They're buddies. Yeah. They used to be, at least. So
Matt Doherty's back as well.
That's big for Spurs.
Pretty big. Yeah, but just to lay down a prediction for you, I think I will say. I don't want to say 2-1 or 2-0, right? I think that's just too boring. This game, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be boring. Like deep down, I think it's really going to be a sleeper game, but I don't want it to, so I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1 who?
For Tottenham Hotspur.
I don't want to go Spurs, because you both went Spurs. So even though I've been chatting so much crud about Spurs being good, I'm going to go Chelsea, because I think Chelsea really do have the quality. Like if anyone has the quality, it's Chelsea to kind of break Mourinho down. Frank Lampard's done it twice before. I think Chelsea will play deeper, which will play into their hands really well. I know you said that you think that they should go attacking, but I think if you can try and draw Mourinho's team out and try and make them available for that counterattack, especially with such good ball-playing centre-backs like Thiago Silva, then I think that you can maybe almost draw them into the trap, spring the trap with like maybe Mason Mount or Kovacic, and let Timo Werner go.
It's a fair point.
Tottenham centre-backs are both slow. Eric Dyer's a fridge, so if I were Frank Lampard, I'd be telling Timo Werner, stay on Eric Dyer. Wherever he goes, stay on him, because you can roll him. He can roll Eric Dyer. So I think I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea because I think they'll score early enough. And the reason I think 2-0 Chelsea is if worst comes to worst, if it's 0-0 in like the 80th minute, they throw Giroud on, and that's a different option. That completely changes the game plan up. They can hoof it into the box. They can do whatever they want, and it just changes up the game. So I'm going to go Chelsea 2-0.
Chelsea barely beat Rennes.
I know, but European football is always weird. I mean, like Manchester City can do really well in the Champions League, come back and do shit. Arsenal can do really well in the Europa League, come back, play shit. Like, I don't think European football has much to say about like home football. But yeah,
fair enough.
That's top 6 rounded up. Predictions are in, so we shall see what the scores are coming in. Moving on to the fantasy for this week. If I'm honest, I set my team up straight after the last podcast. Haven't touched it in the whole week, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going Martinez in goals because I think we haven't talked about them, but I think Aston Villa have a decent chance at keeping West Ham out. West Ham aren't really free scoring. I put James in. I mean, I predicted 2-0, so hopefully he gets a clean sheet against Tottenham. I put Michael Keane in because he's playing Leeds, and Michael Keane is really good for bonus points because he completes a lot of passes. I put Walker Peters in for Man United because I think even though I predicted Southampton 2-0, so hopefully that comes true as well. Ziyech against Tottenham is playing because I think if there's any creativity, it's going to be from Ziyech. Jack Grealish in against West Ham as well because if there's anything happening with the Aston Villa team, it's Grealish. Rodriguez against Leeds because Leeds always concede a rake of goals. Son against Chelsea because it's the same reason I picked Grealish and Ziyech. Bruno Fernandes against Southampton is captain for me, even though I did predict the Southampton win because it's just Bruno Fernandes. Easy points for me, in my opinion. Also, not many people have captained Bruno this week. I think a lot of people have tried to captain Vardy against Fulham or maybe like Calvert-Lewin against Leeds. So I think it might be a little bit of a differential for me this week. I need to stop going with the flow if I want to make points up. Calvert-Lewin against Leeds and Vardy against Fulham because they're playing shit teams. So yeah, that's my team.
You go next.
Yeah, so kind of same as what you did, Connor. I changed my team like slightly and then forgot about it. So I still have the same bench, which are 3 Southampton players. So last week I didn't have faith in them. So hopefully Man U destroys them. I did one thing I did change is what you mentioned. I captained Vardy this. And yeah, I got a lot of Leicester players, a lot of Chelsea players, some Man City players, Phil Foden, Ruben Diaz, and then of course Son and Bruno Fernandes. So I just hope that Bruno, Son can do stuff, although their games aren't that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, Man U's game's pretty easy, but it's Man U. So the Son against blanking. Who's Tottenham playing?
Chelsea.
We just talked about it. Yeah, sorry. I completely blanked out. I hope that like Chilwell and Reece James bag some goals as well as Son. Although that's not happening, but yeah, I just didn't change my team. It's kind of all over the place, but it is what it is.
Where you're like that Simpsons episode where like the monkeys banging like 2 pans against each other in their head. It's like,
yeah.
All right, go George.
All right, so changes from last week are all in the defense. So you guys know I had 2 Chelsea defenders on Mendy. I had Chilwell, James, and Mendy. So they're not going to keep a clean sheet against Tottenham. I know that. And I don't think they'll win either. So I'd sub the 3 of them out. I'm taking another 8-point hit this week. Paid off for me last week. I got 85. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping it's going to pay off again. So I've put in James, Justin, Walker, and Ederson this week because I think they'll all keep clean sheets. Cresswell against Aston Villa, I'm not sure, but he's a good one. He's their set piece taker. Yep. He'll get some assists probably.
Good for the free kicks.
Yeah. So, that's my defense. St. Maximin is injured, so Oriol Romeo is in. I don't know what he'll do. He's at CDM, so probably not
That's
much.
a cheeky 2-pointer if I've ever seen one in my life.
Yeah, but maximum 0. I'm not taking 12 points. There's no way that's... So
yeah,
there's either that or Fernandez, Rodriguez, Son, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, and Vardy is my captain.
Yeah, I knew everyone had captain Vardy this week, but I need to make points up on the top, so I'm hoping Vardy has an absolute
maintain
stinker.
Points to stay on top, so I think captaining Vardy is like what I should do.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I'd agree, but I need to make up a difference. So
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that just about wraps up this week's game of football. Send us your questions in for the next one. We obviously read them out every week. We haven't had any this week because we forgot to ask everyone. So we'll ask you guys for next week. We're also going to try and figure out how we can do this live so that we'll put out the time that we're recording the podcast. You guys can jump in the live comment section and maybe interact with us and create a bit of interactivity, create a bit of a community. But yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Thank you guys. See ya.